Apex Online Racing is sponsored by Elgato, who created this lovely stream deck. For more information about the stream deck, the link is in the description below.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, mothers, fathers, daughters, sons, brothers and sisters. This is the Apex Online Racing iRacing GTE League Season 8, Round number 5, here at the beautiful Ardennes Forest. It is, of course, it's Spa Francorchamps. My name is King-Kodiak, and I'll be your commentator throughout this evening's race. Unfortunately, my stalwart for the season, Mr. Phil McFillan, is not well, so he will not be joining me for this round. It is just myself in the box this evening. We have got 41 drivers ready to brave the treacherous circuit that is Spa. It is it's an incident haven, this one. I've never commented here, and it never have caught out anybody. I've never seen a completely clean sheet here at Spa, so we will see what happens this evening. So let's introduce our amateur drivers then. Amateur drivers, that sounds incredibly... I didn't mean it like that. I mean our AM class of drivers. The 306 PCDC Motorsport Porsche of Richard Brenneman. We have the 375 BMW, the privateer entrant of Jamie Smith. 342 is the Dentsu Sim Racing BMW of Jürgen Kleiber. The 318 Lion Racing Team Porsche of Koen van Eyck. Indeed, founder, I believe that is the Ford. Yeah, that is the 317 Ford of Matthias Soda Christensen. Last week's AM winner, it is the 354 privateer entrant. I love that livery. I'm old enough to appreciate it. It's Craig Dancy. The treble 3 Hyperion Racing 88 Porsche of Mr. Lindholt. My favourite one. I can't help but grin when I see that lovely face. It's the 393 Hyperion Racing Porsche of Chris Yardley. The 369 Privateer Porsche of Merlin Cooper. The 355 VSR Racing Porsche of Ben Hitchcock. And the 387 Gold Racing Team Ferrari of Cyril Berger. Those are our AM drivers. So for those unfamiliar with the league, we have got 3 categories. That's why you see 3 cutout flashes next to various names in the board to the left. The blues are the AMs. They come out first for 8 minutes of qualifying, and Berger is the first to get a time on the board. That is a 2:27.1, so that will distinctly come down. We were seeing 2:13s or below in the preceding practice session. And so the AMs come out first for 8 minutes, then the Pro-AMs come out for another 8 minutes, and the Pros see out the session for the final 8 minutes of qualifying. Which when we, throughout their sessions, I introduce every section, and we also will go through the penalties and championships and what have you. Speaking of penalties, there are actually some to serve this time around. So James Pinsker and Paolo Martins have a drive-through penalty to serve. A pit lane start for Merlin Cooper. That's why we saw him stationary. He could come out, but it's not worth him doing so. Basically, he's not allowed to set a qualifying time. He has to suffer a pit lane. Same with Jeremy Rolou. And a pit lane stop penalty for Richard Brenneman. What that means is they have to come to a stop. They don't have to stay there for any length of time. They just have to come to a complete halt before they get to their own pit lane. So they come to a dead stop, and then they move, and then they can serve their pit stop in the same pit lane visit. It's another way of serving a 5-second penalty, essentially. We're looking at Jamie Smith with the 375 car. What does he put on the board? A 213.771. Was it valid? It was not. He had invalidated that one. Here we go. Here they come. 213.5 for Jürgen Kleiber. Is already beaten by Brenneman. 212.2 and oh wow, look at, oh no, sorry, 212.2 is this man. It's Mr. Dancy. Greg Dancy in the Windows 98 liveried Ford has got the top spot with the 212 at 207. Down the road is actually Ben Hitchcock. 213.522 is his time, 1.3 seconds behind Dancy. No way. Now Craig Dancy was a late addition to the league. He joined us. His first race was, let me find his name, Craig Dancy. His first race was actually last week on Road Atlanta. And for those that were with us in the stream, I wholeheartedly apologise for missing the end of the whoops. And that's Brian Hitchcock getting that all wrong. I wholeheartedly apologise for missing the end of the race. I had a power cut. I was well into my stride. Phil was giving me the info, and apparently it all kicked off as soon as my power died. Thanks, local power company. But Craig Dancy was actually the winner of the AM category. Second was Yardley. Third was Lindholt. We will be going through the championship positions when we are gridding up. Third at the moment is Brenneman. Fourth is Kleiber. Cyril Berger's gone back to the pits, doing a bit of a practice start. And our Pro-Ams should be getting ready fairly soon. Well, actually, another couple of minutes before they get going. Berger will not have to begin another lap, so he's just out there for practice. Zalo Christensen has decided to call it a day. Where's the bloody camera? Oh, that's too far away. Where's the chopper camera? Proudly showing the Danish flag. Nice. Nothing wrong with that at all. But he will not improve with that 214.083 that he has on the board. Oh, you can see the background of that shot. Some of the Pro-Ams are beginning to get a little fidgety now. So as soon as the timer hits 16 minutes to go is when the Pro-Ams are allowed to be released. Now they can gather at the end of the pit lane, and they are likely to. So Evan Imre is the yellow BMW you can see having a bit of a fidget. It's Greg Dancy. Has he improved in his time? He hasn't. 2:12.07, still his best time. Chris Yardley now in second in the ever grinning Porsche of his. Brenneman's back in the pits. He will not improve. If we get on the chopper cam, you'll see the Pro-Ams are gathering at the end of the pit lane. That is perfectly allowed. They will gather there until the timer hits 16 minutes, of which they will then be released. They must not interfere with anybody going through a lap, and equally those that are, those on a hot lap must not get in the way of those that are coming out of the pits. Kyle Van Eyck yet to get a time on the boards, along with Daniel Lindholt. Merlin Cooper, as mentioned, is starting from the pit lane. The reason for those penalties are due to incidents that occurred at Road Atlanta, where the stewards felt that those particular drivers were at fault. And that is the penalty they served. Brenneman and Jamie Smith have returned to the pits along with Silo Christensen. So they will not improve. And now the Pro-Ams are going to be released. There they all go. So before we go through them, let's just let's watch our remaining AM drivers go through the remainder of their laps. That's Dancy, where is he? That looks like it's Stavalo. Van Eyck is coming through the chicane. What can he do? What is his time? Let us see. He has not had a valid one on the board, and that is a 213.885. Was it valid? It was. I put him up in 7th. There's one of the Hyperion Porsches coming in behind. Not sure who that was, unfortunately. Was it Lindholt? It was Daniel Lindholt. 213.4 puts him in 5th position. Berger is out there and possibly shouldn't be because his time has elapsed. Dancy just coming over the line. Can he improve? 2:12.207 his time. He does not. 3/10 off of his personal best. Is that all of the AMs? I think it is. Right, our Pro-Ams then. Let's see who we have got. Sebastian Riethmüller for VEC Sim Racing Cyan in the Ferrari. We have John Halliwell, who's racing Evan Imre as they come down to, what's that, Rivage? Nope, that is the I can't pronounce this, Fagnes chicane. I always call it the camper chicane because that's the old name for it. He's in the Venom Motorsport Ferrari. We have Paolo Martins in the 299 Phoenix Motorsports Porsche. Jeremy Rolou in the 288N Race Esport Porsche. 257, it's the VEC Sim Racing Rouge Ferrari of Alexander Godefroy. 296 is the Diesel Race Team Ferrari of Martin Kodeman. 241 is the Line Racing Team Porsche of Marvin Slutman. 225, it's the SROC Racing Ford of Jukka Suominen. 264 is the Hyperion Racing Porsche of Daniel Nesterowicz. 247 is the Black Eagle Racing BMW of Jason Withrow. 204 is the Hyperion Racing Porsche of Victor Mateus. 227 is the Visceral Sim Racing of VSR Porsche of Jake Sanders. 226, the Team Tepper Ram Racing BMW of Arjun van Putten. 267, the VEC Sim Racing Cyan Ferrari of Philippe Gaillard. And 295 is the Hyperion Racing Porsche of Renaud Luc. Yes, I knew someone had put a time on the board. It was his outlap. It's the 222 AOR Yellow Racing BMW of Evan Imre. Right. Is that everybody? I think it is. I think I missed anyone. So once again, our Pro-Ams being the biggest represented category of this race. Evan must be one of the first ones out there. Well, I think pretty much everybody in the Pro-Ams is out there. I don't think anybody is not out. Nope, looks like all of our Pro-Ams that are with us this evening have come out on track. On board with the 222 BMW of Evan Imre coming into the Fangers chicane. Keeping nice and steady. But they really don't have long. Being such a long lap here at Spa, 8 minutes is 8 minutes. That's a universal time for every category, every track. So the shorter tracks, such as Road Atlanta that we had last week, they've got time to kind of come out. If they make a mistake, so be it. But here, it's pretty costly if they do make that mistake. Through Blanchimont. A very slight lift towards the end for Evan, and then bang on the anchor, slow it down for the chicane. Oh, that's gotten horribly twitchy. He's managed to save it, I think. Yep, no incident point on the board for Evan, but that cost him lots of valuable time, and that is a 2:14.507. Does not improve. He'll jump back to the pits to start that all again. Jake Sanders has taken the lead of the Pro-Ams with a 2:12.796. That's half a second behind Craig Dancy of the AMs. Never mind, Marvin Sleeman, by 1/1000th of a second, has just taken the new pole time in the Lion Racing 241 Porsche. John Halliwell, he's jumped back to the pits. He is now just been demoted to fourth in the Pro-Ams. Sebastian Riethmüller has jumped up to fourth. That is third overall. He's been chased by... Oh no, sorry, he is the Ferrari. I was reading that completely wrong. I thought Sebastian was the Porsche. Should have realised that because that's a Hyperion livery Porsche. He's getting all the slipstream right now. That's what it looks like on board with the Ferrari. Now this is going to be a bit of a slipstream fest. I think before you send it, I hadn't realised that message was on the back of the Hyperion Porsche, but that's going to compromise his entrance into Le Combe. He really had to throw the Ferrari in. Woo! And then had to fight the Porsche off, coming back down the hill again. 0.07 of a second is all that separates Sebastian Riethmüller from Jake Sanders. The VSR Porsche, car number 227. Most people, it looks like, have got a time on the board. Jukka Suominen has yet to get a valid time on the board in the SROC Ford. Now, last time out at Road America, the Pro-Am category was won by, I have to look this up, The Pro-Ams was won by this man, Jukka Suominen. His first win of the season. Second was Arjen van Putten, and third was Orlando Luke, which makes for a very close championship in the Pro-Am category. Actually, in fairness, they're all fairly close. The pros are actually a little bit spread out, but the AMs are very close together. I think I'm just looking through, making sure I'm reading out the right numbers as well. What does Jukka Suominen get on the board? Well, 2:16.7 is not going to do him much good. And it was invalid anyway, so does not improve. Arjen van Putten now second. Nope, never mind. Sebastian Riedman is the second. They're back again in the VEC Sim Racing time. Ferrari. Two of the VEC cars, well, three of the VEC cars were close together, and none of them are helping each other whatsoever. Well, they don't have time to do another lap anyway. They are pulling over and returning to the pits. As you can see, when the 8-minute mark has been hit, our pros will get underway, and they should now start to get fidgety. If we go on the chopper cam, nope, can't see anybody at the moment. Can't see anybody from that angle either. They'll start to get fidgety very shortly. The pros will be released. And Marvin Sluman is still our pole man by that single thousandth of a second. Now, again, as a reminder, anyone on a lap is allowed to complete it when the checker flag falls. So Evan looks like he's one of the last to cross the line. And our pros should be released. Now you can see they're starting to get fidgety. Well, someone's going to have to go. They're allowed. And there they go. The pros are now into the field, but as I did with the AMs, let's see. We've got quite a few pro-ams still out there. Martin Kahneman could not improve from 7th with his 2:12.880. Whoa, Marvin Sluman, that looked a little bit too wide there, my man. Some of the track limits are a little bit strange. In some places you can go very wide and others not, but he's still pushing on. He's still absolutely going for it. He's been chased by, I think that's Suominen behind him. Where is Jukka? Can't find him. There he is. Yep, that is indeed Jukka Suominen. Yet to get a time on the boards. He's the only pro-am that is yet to go. Well, technically neither does Relu, but he's starting from the pit lane anyway, so will serve no benefit to him. Marvin Sluman comes back into the pits. Suominen is continuing. What does he get on the board? That is a 2:13.305. And that puts him 14th overall. Have we got any pro-ams still out there? Evan Imre. Just coming through Blanchimont. I think he is the last one. He is. Following through the remainder of his lap then. He remains in 25th with a 2:14.5 on the table. And that is a 2:13 flat. That puts Evan into 11th overall. Very nicely done. Right, it's time for the big boys. It's time for the pros. Let's go through them then. Ross Woodford and the Common Radicals 178 Ford. The 197 Team Tepper Ford, it is a Rick Van Dorn. 168 Team Tepper Ford of James Pinsker. The 143 Probatum Team BMW of Nilton Carvalho. The 102 One Sim Motorsport Porsche of Christopher Pfeffer. 156 the Mayella HCR Ferrari of Liam McNinch. The 108 Ferrari of Scott McCracken for Mayella HCR. 137 the Comrade Gaming Porsche of Dominic Gaidemer. 173 the Venom Motorsport Ferrari of Michael Edens. 109 the Comrade Gaming Porsche of Christoph Holstein. 120 the AOR Yellow Ferrari of Kenny Martinson. 112 the Privateer Porsche of Isaac Yayen. 186 the VC Sim Racing Magenta Porsche of Sylvia Moraine. And finally the 129 Jim Williams Porsche of Jorge Blasco Vold. That is everybody. That's all of our pros. And again, last week at Road Atlanta, the pros was won by the Pro Championship leader of Ross Woodford. Second was Gaydemare. Third was Liam McNinch. Excellent effort there. Where's Woodford? He was a little later than most getting out onto the field. None of the pros yet with a set time. You can see they don't have long to get their outlaps done and get 2, if they time it right, maybe 3 time laps, but that's hoping they don't encounter any kind of difficulties, but they really don't have long. In fact, it's only really 2 time laps, going to think of it. Who should we have a look at? Rick Van Dorn, where are you? You are coming through Stavilo. Anybody close to 7 at time? That looks squiggly. Trying to see who is at the front. Liam McNinch, podium man last time out for Mayela HCR. Oh, we have a late joiner to the session. The 398 car of Rienda Henstra has joined the session. Oh, that's a very big old smack of the apex there for McNinch. A 2:12.442. That is third if it's legal. Yes. A lead pro time. No, never mind. Randorn for Team Tapper has just usurped him by a couple of tenths. No, in fact, not even by half a tenth. Beg your pardon. He's 2 tenths off of pole. Randorn. 2:12.407. Pfeffer has slotted into, was third, now just demoted to fourth. Pinsker in second in the pros. 2:12.409. Oh, new pole time, and it's the first in the 211s by a huge margin. 6 tenths of a second. Dominic Gaydemare taking the top spot. Not even Ross Woodford has an answer to that. Interesting that Gaydemare's jumped straight back to the pits after that one. Was that slipstream enabled? Well, if it was, then Woodford did the same thing, and there's no one directly ahead of the Ford. So, interesting. That doesn't mean it wasn't slipstream enabled. Wow. That ought to be a good fight. Once again, between Woodford and Gaydemare. Whoa, Blasco Falls. Another 211. 2:11.945. 3 tenths off the top spot. Slots Jorge into third position. Look at that. The pole for Pro-Am and Am, 3rd, 4th and 5th. That's not even 3 tenths of a second apart. That's incredible stuff. The entire field, with the exception of those that haven't yet got a lap on the board, such as Christoph Holstein, is separated by 2.5 seconds. First to 39th. Rienda Henstra was late joining the session, so he'll have to start from the back. Merlin Cooper, as previously mentioned, will be starting from the pit lane along with Jeremy Rolou. Holstein yet to get a time as previously mentioned. Gaydemare has come out again. I was going to say he's not going to be able to start a new lap with what's left. Liam McNinch has jumped up to 4th position overall, 2:12.113. He's 10th and a half, just over behind Jorge Valls. Who else shall we have a look at? Pinsker has just come over the line with a 2:12.270. He's got 1/10 to find to usurp the Pro-Am and Am pole sitters. Well, 10th and a half, I think. Incredible stuff. Ross Woodford crossed the line, so it was an invalid lap last time around. One chance only to improve. Is Gaydemare going to make it from there in 30 seconds? We'll see. If he does, he can do another time lap. If not, his day is done. There's Holstein. Just crossing the line, a 2:15.3. I think it's fair to say he can improve on that one. It doesn't matter because it was invalid anyway. Let's follow Holstein through his lap. Down the hill, he's come through La Source. He's got the Venom Motorsport Ferrari ahead. Sweeps into Eau Rouge. Up and over Radion. Through the Camel Turn and onto the Camel Straight. Jorge Blasco-Valls has brought his car back to the pits. He will not improve on that already impressive 2:11.882. Screaming on down the camel straight into Lecom. Oh, hopefully I think it's Michael Edens is the Venom Motorsport Ferrari, if I recall. Ooh, steady. Ah, he's overcooked it. He overcooked that. Too far off the road at Lecom. And that's how nasty the track limits are for some of these turns. Did Gaydemeyer cross the line? Well, he seems to be pressing on, so I'm assuming he did. Yes, he did. He did cross the line before the checker flag came out. The checker flag is now out. Where's Woodford? That's per curveball for 8. Still pressing on. 2:11.633. His time, 42 thousandths off the top spot. At the moment, most of the pros still out there. Oh, Holstein, that's going to hurt. Starting right the way down towards the tail of the field. Pinsker did not improve. He will remain in 7th position overall. Where's Woodford? Where are you? There he is. Sprints towards the line. It is not an improvement. Well, Dominic Gaydemeyer will be starting from the top spot unless he is usurped by Canute. Did Nilton Carvalho cross the line? He did. He will start no higher than 13th. That's a terrible camera angle. Only Canute and Dominic are still on track. What does Martinson do? It's an improvement in time, but oh no, he does improve in position slightly. He's ahead of Rick Van Don, so he'll be in 8th overall. Gaydemeyer. He's the only one still on track. What does he do? 2:11.591 his time. And he's improved on it. 2:11.3. Oh, wow. You want to talk about a statement of intent? Very nicely done, Dominic Gaydemeyer. And that is the end of qualifying. The session still technically exists, but that is absolutely outstanding stuff. So, let's look at how the grid falls then. Dominic Gaydemeyer and Ross Woodford take the front row for the pros. And then it is Valls and McNinch on the second row. Then it's our Pro-Am leader, Marvin Sluman. And then our Am leader, Craig Dancy, on row 3. Then we have a big group of pros of Pinsker, Martinson, Van Dorn, McCracken, Pfeffer and Yayen. Carvalho, and then a few of the Pro-Ams in this one. Riethmüller, Halliwell, there's Edens in 16th position, Van Putten, Moraine, Sanders, Kodeman, Gaillard, Godefroy, Martins, Imre, Yardley. Look at, I mean, that was 6th to 25th before you found another AM driver, which was Chris Yardley. Very nicely done. Luke, Brenneman, Suominen, Kleiber, Withrow, Matthias, Lindholt, Nesterowicz, Hitchcock, Smith, Van Eyck, Rollo, although Rollo will be starting from the pit lane. I think Rollo was the other one starting from the pit lane. Yes. So he shouldn't really have set that time unless he's either forgotten or it's been changed since I was last informed. Bergeret, Christensen, Holstein, of course, not getting a time on the board. Cooper and Henstra Henstra was late to the party. So then, let's have a look at our championships. We head over to... we just get the camera pointing at the group. That's a useful camera. Thanks, thanks, Blimp. Let's have a look at our championships then. That's how our pros stack up. With Woodford leading the way, but only 10 points over Gaydemeyer. And then Oliver, who's not with us. Pinsker, Martinson, Sasulski, who I think has pulled out of the league, if I recall. Bennett isn't with us today. Pfeffer and Van Dorn are top 9. Then Holstein, Yayen, McNinch, Edens, Valls, McCracken, Caroni, I believe, is no longer in the league either. And DeVille is not with us. In the Pro-Ams, 1 point separates Matthias and Van Putten. 5 to Halliwell, 9 to Suominen, 11 to Luke. So close, so much can change in the Pro-Am category. And Sluman, Withrow, Sanders, Godefroy, Imre, Gaillard, Dove. Sarah Dove's not with us. It's one of the first times I think I've commentated without Sarah Dove being in the field. Rolly, Kodeman, Ben Warren's not with us. Roberti Edouard isn't with us either. And Riethmüller. in our AMs, and he's still pretty close there as well. Just 7 points at the top of the field between Linholt and Yardley. Then Van Eyck, Kamke, Smith's not with us today, Schmidt's not with us today, Dancy doing brilliantly, taking the win last time out, and very strong position here today. Nick Domino not on track. Hitchcock, Brenneman, Kleiber, Hall, Bergeret, Cooper, Sado Christensen, Coombe and Henstra. Right, as the field will start to fidget shortly, let's head up to the top. There it is, the safety car getting underway, and the field then being led behind the safety car by Gaydemare and Woodford. Well, it's technically Gaydemare, he was our pole man, so we will follow him through then. 42 cars with us today. Oh, Henstra is starting for... Is Henstra starting for the pit lane? No, he is actually at the back of the field. Heading down towards the chicane. Heart rate's through the roof. We have an hour and 20 minutes of racing at this wonderful, wonderful circuit. The pace car will be pulling in, and wow, Ross is really keen to get on with it. It's up to Dominic when he floors it. And there he goes. We are racing here at Spa. That looked like, I think it was Liam that wanted to get going, but it was Ross wasn't ready to go. And look at that on the inside coming towards the source. Ross is under pressure already. When my numbers sort themselves out, we'll get a camera pointing at that particular battle. Ross has already lost the second place. That was Jorgen Blaskevals. What a great start then for the Williams Jim Porsche. But that's going to put him under a lot of pressure. Minions right there as well. Here they come then. Oh, and that's the Williams Jim Porsche very wide as Ross Woodford is then looking to make the decision. Look at all the battling going on. There's no way I can keep up with all of that. Interesting gap that's formed between the back of that's Dancy up into 5th position, keeping up really well with the top lot. Just going to see is anybody falling through the field. There has been a lot of fidgeting, but I don't think there's been any kind of major incident. Daniel Lindholt's along with... Oh dear, I spoke way too soon. Daniel Lindholt has had a problem, and along with... Oh no, Chris Yardley! Not my grinning Porsche. Oh dear, incident between those two. But too much going on for me to try and get a replay of them. Look at the gap that's formed between Dancy and that's Canoe Martinson that leads basically everybody else. There's Marvin Sluman, our Pro-Am leader, there in 7th overall in the Porsche. He's got Isaac Gayen and Scott McCracken directly behind. Oh, he's got everybody directly behind, but it's so close. Interesting. I'm curious as to why that gap has formed between Craig Dancy and Canoe Martinson. Unless Canoe had a particularly bad start. I don't think he did. I'm sure he was further down the field than that when we began. But either way, he now has a lot of people very much bearing down on him. And the top lot, there they are. Now expect this, this line of stern behaviour to go on for quite some time. But a lot of incident counts already. Oh, John Halliwell has had trouble. He is in the pits. Can we see what happened to him? Oh, there we go. So there he is, right in the middle of the pack. Oh, getting a little bit fidgety. He's trying to make a move on the inside of the 342 BMW. That's down at P1. And he's just nudged the barrier. Okay, that didn't look like a major issue. I think there's been another problem. I think it was Liam McLinch's name fall through the field unless he's just made a mistake. Skip to live. Oh wow, he's actually on the outside of Field Gaillard. Oh, lots of action going on down here. Oh wow, that's Suwomanen that's in trouble. A bit difficult to pick up on anybody when there is... Oh, I bet you, Suwomanen had slow down penalty there, I guarantee you. Top 3. Oh wow, something major has happened up top. Our top. Let's just again. I'm just looking at replay on replay here. So what's happened to this pack? It suddenly became 3. Can't really. There's so much going on. I don't want to just keep hitting the replay button. But now it's Gaydemare, Woodford, and Blaskevals. 1, 2, 3. There's Martinson now 4th, and Dancy's now behind him. what has happened to Craig Dancy, because he was right behind the top 3. No, where has he had his problem? Whilst watching Dancy, this is still post-issue, but if we keep watching this camera, as the camera changes, look at the back. That's one of the Mayella Ferraris. That'll be what happened to McNinch, I'd have thought. Well, I'm not sure what happened to Craig Dancy, but he's now a long way behind the top 3 that he was chasing early on. Gaydemer, Woodford, Jorge Blasquez. The podium 3 broken away by 3 seconds over Canoe Martinson now. Oh, that's so very close. If we look, that's the view. Oh, and Woodford's made a mistake. Either that or somehow Gaydemer's had the best acceleration of his life from the chicane. I'm pretty sure Woodford got a bit squirrely. Now this could shake up the order a little bit. That's the view from Jorge Blasquez as they scream on down the hill towards Eau Rouge. He's too far back realistically to make a move. Slipstream punch and counter punch going on. Well, Blasquez will get a bit of slipstream from there. Not enough to make any real significant change to that particular running. Incident count aplenty all over the place. Oh, Dancy Dancy just got slipstream from Marvin Sleeman there. Pretty common overtaking manoeuvre coming into Lake Arm. And Dancy doesn't really need to fight that to any great degree. The next AM down the road is, oh my goodness, it's Richard Bremen in 23rd. Who's a good, oh goodness me, miles behind. Oh, problem for Holstein! Oh no, what's happened to Christoph Holstein? Oh, he'd had problems earlier on, but judging by that wing, what's happened to him? Oh, that's what's happened. So, oh goodness me, getting side by side with the Mayella Ferrari, and then in comes what I think is Brenneman, and that's caused Holstein to get a bit of a wriggle on, and that is he's pulled his car over. He's retired that one. We have lost the Comrade Gaming Porsche of Holstein. Well, I say we've lost him. He's recovered to the pits. He can rejoin, but he'll be in there a significant period of time. Oh my goodness me. John Halliwell has left the session. Suominen and Gaillard and McNinch all in the pits as well. Oh no, disaster. Well, Suominen is underway, but he's been in there a minute and a half. Oh dear, oh dear. And Gaillard has been in there for about 3 minutes. Oh dear. Spa doing Spa things. Suominen's already on 10 incident points, and we haven't even done that many minutes of racing. Did say that it was a bit of a lethal one for track limits, and Holstein has left the session. He will not be rejoining us. As Ross Woodford now gets the new fastest lap. But whilst all that fighting's gone on, Canoe Martinson's actually broken away a little bit from Marvin Sleeman. Marvin won't care. He's quite some way ahead of the next pro-am, which is Sebastian Riethmüller. Good 5 seconds down the road between the two pro-ams. Skip Balls is falling off the back of the lead too, and there is Woodford going to make a move on Gaydemer. He's in the slipstream. I think he's holding position. Yeah, he backed off. He wasn't interested in making that move. He could easily have blasted past the Porsche, but he opted not to. He's going to let the Porsche punch the hole in the air and use up his fuel. And Woodford's going to bide his time. 1.4 seconds, 1.5 seconds now. Blasquez is behind the top two. And there's Canucks with the Pro-Am and Pro leaders right behind him, Marvin Sleeman and Craig Dancy respectively. There's Scott McCracken, the Lava Company there, and the former Isaac Yayen and James Pinsker. And I've forgotten what was James's penalty again. Drive-through penalty for Pinsker, which I don't think he's served yet. No, he hasn't been through the pit yet. He has a drive-through penalty to serve, according to information I was given. And here's Michael Edens. The Venom Motorsport Porsche, Ferrari rather. Riethmüller being chased by Rick Van Dorn. Pfeffer's up to 8 incident points already, so he's got to be careful. And Jukka Suominen is out of the session. We have lost another to this race. We are down to 37 cars now running. Oh dear, what a shame for Suominen. That's Woodford keeping Gaydomere honest. 1.3 less than that now separates the Ford to the Porsche behind. This must be quite nerve-wracking for Knut Martinsson. Oh, trouble! Evan Imre, what's he done? He's gone a bit hot into... Oh no, he managed to slow... Oh no, that's... I thought he had a little bit of trouble there. So he just had a little bit of a twitch coming into the chicane, but that's cost him a lot of positions though. Oh, here comes Woodford again. Is he going to make a move? Oh, not the no. And you can really tell from this camera angle that that's by design. Problem is, that's allowing Blasco-Vols to close in on them. Although, in fairness, Blasco-Vols was about half a tenth slower than the two ahead of him. Well, certainly than Woodford. Oh, side by side, that's Jake Sanders and Evan Imre. Oh, the BMW doing what he can to try and fend off the slightly bent Porsche. Well, the front of the nodes of the Porsche slightly rearranged, and that right behind. Oh, trouble! Sylvain Moraine! Oh, it's facing the wall of Rivage. Oh, he's gone in way too hot. Oh, no, and he's still facing the wall. Oh, my goodness me. Who was that he clunked into? No, it wasn't you. Who was it that, as if we can identify who it was that Sylvain accidentally hit? 102, I think it was. It was Christopher Pfeffer, the one so much. Ah, that's how he got away so quickly. He managed to recover pretty quickly and keep his car mainly pointing in the right direction. There's Moraine now. Right the way. Now he'd finally gotten going. Now all the way down to 37th and effective last. Holstein, McNinch, Suominen and Halliwell all out of the session. They will not be returning. Gaillard's still in the session, but with catastrophic damage to his car. Oh, he's simply opting not to return. Our top three are getting ever closer again. Blasco-Vols fell a bit behind the top two, but he's closing that back in, and Knut's got a big, huge queue of cars behind him. And it's Sluman, Dancy, McCracken, Pinsker, JN, Edens. Oh, is there trouble here? Oh, Carvalho is in. That's really quite early. Nilton Carvalho has brought his BMW in very early indeed. Curious. Is the Porsche really loud when you're looking at it? See, I reckon Ross really could make that move. He's staying there intentionally. But what will Blasco-Vols do? I mean, the 129 Porsche really could upset this particular dance that's going on ahead of them. Knut doing what he can to try and keep up with the top three. And he's right on their pace, give or take a tenth or two. He's actually quicker than Race Leader Gaydomere by 2/10. But he's just got that ever-present Porsche and Ford of Sluman and Dante behind. But then they're not in the same class. They might not actually press the attack. The next one in class for Knut is McCracken. And he's 2 seconds behind with 2 cars in the way. I keep coming back to this because I just get the feeling that Woodford is going to make a move soon. Well, he might do, or he might just sit there and tease. This could be an opportunity. We've launched him on. Does he lift? He lifted ever so slightly coming into launch him up. No, it's going to be too far back, realistically, and this is a dive bomb of the century. They get very close, but no. And now, Blasco-Vols is right there. And Dominic is doing both Blasco-Vols and Woodford a great service here, just dragging them along. 13-1 for Gatormare, 13-2 for Woodford, 12-8 for Blasco, 13-6 for Canute. Well, we talk about the incident limit being rather dangerous. We have 13 is the worst one by Karen Van Eyck, the Lion Racing team. And not even 20 minutes done. We still have a 0 though, Ross Woodford, believe it or not. Oh, now he's right underneath. Again, he's backed off. He's not willing to be the car up front at the moment. Oh, Dancy and McCracken have swapped round. The Mayella Ferrari not wanting to stay behind the Windows 98 Ford. And that's Rick Van Dorn and Sebastian Riethmiller swapping round. Again, I wouldn't have thought Sebastian would have fought that one too much. Currently second in the Pro-Ams behind Marvin Sleeman, who is hanging on to the slipstream from Canute pretty well. A couple more 0 incident limits. 0 on the incident limit. Michael Edens is one of them. Alexander Godefroy. Marjan Kodeman. Evan Imre. And that's all of them. They're the only drivers still with 0 on the incident limit. Let's have a look at some other fights going on. We of course have this top 3 that seem to be fairly content in letting Gatormare do all the work. Then this train behind Canute that's been there for quite some time that has Marvin Sluman, now Scott McCracken up into 6th position, having gotten ahead of Craig Dancy. Then it is James Pinsker, Isaac Gayen, Michael Edens and Rick Van Dorn, and also Sebastian Riethmiller in that particular lineup. That's 4th to 12th. And a bit of a gap, Alexander Godefroy 3 seconds behind that train that we've just been mentioning. There's Pfeffer with Marjan Kodeman and Arjun Van Putten in hot pursuit. Next battle down is Evan Imre being followed by Jake Sanders for 17th overall. There's Panna Martins in the Phoenix Porsche. Oh, that's a move. That is Richard Brenneman being overtaken by Jürgen Kleiber with Daniel Nesterowicz, Victor Matios. Oh, someone in the pits, Panna Martins. No, I'm thinking that's early, but these guys know what they're doing. Jamie Smith in that particular group as well. Cam Van Eyck not far behind. Chris Yardley in the battered, grinning Porsche with Rienda Henstra directly behind. Martins, there's Panna Martins. That would be Panna Martins' drive-through penalty. Yes, he has served his drive-through penalty. Well, I don't think Pinsker has yet. No, he hasn't. He still has his to serve. Salo Christensen is in. He's recovered to the pits. What's happened to Salo Christensen? What's happened to the Dane? Well, he's very much minding his own business. Coming down to the chicane through Blanchimont. Oh, wow. The tail just completely let go on him. At Blanchimont, you are not really ever likely to keep it out of the wall like that. He's recovered back to the pits and he's potentially going to be there a while. We have lost Jason Withrow as well. A replay of what happened to the 247 car. Possibly not, unfortunately. He's out of the session, so we've lost another in this race. We won't have anybody left by the end of the race. And Salo Christensen has retired from the session. Down to 34 cars now from our starting 42. Top 3 still very, very close together. And there's that neck pack. Canute Martin doing all the work. He's losing time on the top 3. He's just got the whole gaggle of company there. McCracken would really need to clear Sluman, but doesn't seem particularly interested in doing so right now. As mentioned, it's all strategic. In the closing stages of the races, when you will start to see people, going for their respective moves. Oh, Ross Woodford is no longer on the 0 incident chart. He's got a point on the board. Michael Edens is now the only driver, I think. Oh no, beg your pardon, there's 3 drivers with 0. Edens, Godefroy and Kodeman. The ones with 0 on the board. Who shall we have a look at? Pfeffer was side by side with Kodeman. That didn't get the move done. They're not in the same class. Pfeffer in the pros, Kodeman in the pro-ams. I think Pfeffer should be looking to get past the pro-am Ferrari. Who shall we see? It's a very first world problem, essentially. Excuse me. Where you've got these, real close, groups of cars, such as this one here, battle for 4th. But you know that they're going to kind of do the tactical game at this stage of the race, and will do for quite some time. It's not when we see the mass bulk of pit stops going, oh, Jamie Smith is in trouble. What has happened to the Private 2375? Oh, he threw that too hard into Puan. You saw as he turned in, the tail was not interested in hanging on to that. He's going again, but now down in 29th. Behind Rollo. Oh dear, oh dear. Speaking of Rollo, he's right on the back of Rihanna Henstra. Oops, I thought we lost Pfeffer. Pfeffer's lagging a little bit there. He's on 10 incident points. He's got to be careful about. Oh, wow, the tail getting lively there. He's got to be careful about how he finishes his day. Cohen Van Eyck on 14 now. A few people on 10. Paolo Martins on, or I should say, in double digits. So 10 there for Martins, 10 for Pfeffer as mentioned. Jake Sanders on 12. He still sits behind. Oh, what's happened to Henstra? Nothing's happened to Henstra. He's in the hairpin, in the chicane rather. Oh, Sluman having a look on Canoe Martinson there. So the Pro-Am is led by Marvin Sleven as he has been all race long. He leads Sebastian Riethmüller by about 7 seconds. Give you an idea of what that is. As Riethmüller is coming through Rivage now through turn 9. Sluman is now into Pool. It's not a huge amount of gap, but there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars in between the two, top 2 Pro-Am spots. Third in the Pro-Am is Godefroy, who is 2.8 seconds behind Riethmüller. And that gap is on track. Sounded like someone got a little bit lively coming to the Fagner chicane. The AMs being led by, unsurprisingly, Craig Dancy. Oh, is that no? As Christopher Pfeffer, he keeps lagging, which causes his speed to read as 0. Well, Philippe Gaillard has actually come back out on track, having spent 17.5 minutes in the pit lane and chasing an exceedingly rearranged Porsche ahead of him. That's Daniel Linholt. There is our last man on track. Well, you could argue this Philippe Gaillard, who's 7 laps down, and fair play for him for coming back out again. Ooh, McCracken was side by side with Sluman at one point, or very close to being. Anyway, our AM leader, Craig Dancy, there he is, now being chased by James Pinsker. And Team Tepper Ford would really want the privateer 354 car to get out of the way. Where's he going to? Yeah, I'm not surprised Pinsker went for that move. That would have cost him absolutely no time at all, as Dancy either was just outpaced towards Lecombe or bled out the throttle to let Pinsker take the racing line. So James Pinsker up to 7th, and now chasing McCracken, less than a second between those two. The next AM down the road is, oh my goodness, is Jürgen Kleiber, who is 24 seconds down the road. And again, to give you a perspective of what that is, Now heading down towards Pouon. Just as Craig turns into Pouon, that's where Jürgen Kleiber is, just coming out of Lake Hon. Some 5-6 corners back. That's not to say Jürgen Kleiber's doing a bad job. He's doing a pretty good job because he leads Richard Brenneman. Well, there's Brenneman in the next AM Porsche behind Victor Matios, which is the chasing Porsche to the BMW here. But Craig Dempsey is probably need to be elevated up a category, as he has been a very, very strong force in the AM class since joining last week. Oh, is Woodford going to make a move? He got close, but again he bled out of the throttle. He does run the risk of kind of slamming into the back of Gaydemeyer. He's running that close. But these guys know what they're doing. They know what this strategy is. It's a common strategy to run here at Spa. And also another thing I keep an eye on is the dreaded incident count. Copenhagen up to 15 now. He can only score another 4 to keep racing. If you score as soon as they hit 20, they are out. That is it. No coming back from it. Your day is done. What's happened to Jürgen Kleiber? Nothing. That's Victor Matios that's jumped on the inside of him. Brenneman has lost the spot to Renault Luke, I think. Oh no, yeah, yes. Renault Luke in the Hyperion Porsche has just gone through. Nothing to read into there. Look at that. 3 Hyperion Porsches right there. Matios, Luke and Nesterowicz. Smith has lost his spot to Paolo Martins. Again, that's not for class. Oh, Marvin Sluman! No, my goodness, the Pro-Am leader. So he had a look at the... Oh! As he had a look on the inside of Knut Martinsson, he just got out of shape coming into Lake Com. Oh, my goodness. He had such a comfortable lead in the Pro-Ams, and he still hasn't recovered. Now, finally, he has to be very careful because, of course, he's trying to rejoin the track with everybody else. Oh, what a disaster for Marvin Sluman. Now down to 16th from having run 5th for so long. Now finds himself, where is he in class? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th in class now. Oh my goodness me. Lynch joined us in chat. He's had real issues that caused him to quit the session. What a shame. A great shame for you, sir. But we appreciate you letting us know, especially as you were on the podium last time out, which, thanks to my power cut, I completely missed, for which I wholeheartedly apologize for. So now there goes Knut Martinsson's rear guard, essentially, against himself and Scott McCracken. And James Pinsker. So Knut no longer has a buffer between the next 2 cars in his class. Probably going to make him a little more nervous. And the top 3 haven't changed at all from where they started. And again, this just shows you how strong the slipstream is, and Woodford backs out of it. Once again, just playing the strategy, letting Gaydemeyer punch the big hole in the air. That'll come good at pit stop time. We'll see though. We'll see if that does pay off for him. The field back down to 34. I thought Kodeman had a spin there, but he hasn't. I saw a 0 on my chart. That's his incident count, not his speed. So have a quick refresh then on who is where. Our top 3, as mentioned, has been Gaydemeyer, Woodford and Blaskovals for quite a long time, and remains exactly in that order. And then the next ones down the road are Martinsson, McCracken and Pinsker, the next 3 pros. Then is our AM leader, Dancy, who is right on the back. Well, he's been in that pack all race long, qualified in 6th overall, and has been hovering around that particular pack. Oh, Isaac JN is looking to join that fight now. This one down, Michael Edens. Still 0 incident points, keeping it nice and clean. With Rick Van Dorn already behind. Sebastian Riethmuller now our Pro-Am leader. With Alexander Godefroy, so the VEC squad are quite happy. Top 2 in their class, led by the VEC Ferraris. Pfeffer is 5.2 down the road. He's being chased by Martin Kodeman for Diesel Race Team. Arjun Van Putin about 2.5 seconds further down the road. There he is. The Tepper Ram Racing BMW. And there is Sluman after his spin. He lost a huge, colossal amount of time, and I think we have just... Oh, Rienda Henstra has hit the incident limit. I thought we lost someone. Can we get a replay of what his last incident was? No. He's the honest answer to that. I think he has gone straight from session. And, oh, Blasco Valls has made a mistake. He's suddenly 1.7 seconds behind Woodford and Gatorman. With the first victim of the incident limit, with just half an hour gone, was late entrant Rienda Henstra. That is his day done. A great shame. That is the nature of the beast. Unless that happened a while ago and I just haven't noticed, which is always possible. I'll be honest, there's so much trying to keep an eye on many things. We don't have an army of people doing stuff for us. It is just myself and my co-commentators. So Phil, not well today, is not with us, so get well soon. Mr. McFillan. Also keeping an eye on this battle. This is for 4th in the race and of course in the pro category between Martinson and McCracken. Pinsker right there. James Pinsker still hasn't served his drive-through penalty. And there's the AM leader, Dancy, with Isaac Kayen right there. Well, there is Van Dorn as well. Team Tepper chasing Michael Edens and the Venom Ferrari. Are they going to be having a fight? Nope, it looks like Ford happy to stay. As mentioned, that's not really a surprise. As we get closer to the tail end of the races, when we'll start to see that really shuffle around. There's the 2 VEC sim racing Ferraris. They're not likely to fight each other too hard. But not yet. They might push each other a little bit. They've got loads of leeway on the incident count. 3 for Riethmuller, 2 for Godefroy. So they've got nothing to worry about there. Unlike Cohen Van Eyck or Paolo Martins, I'm into the double figures, and Pfeffer as well. Oh, I thought this would happen sooner rather than later for McCracken. He's had enough being behind Martins. I thought, in hindsight, actually, I wonder if he might have left that a little later, but he's gone for the move. His turn to drive the train. With Pinsker, is he now going to think about getting past Martinson? We will see. And yet, as mentioned, Blasco Valls did indeed make a mistake. He lost 9/10 on the pair ahead of him. It looks like he's lost slightly more time as well. I wonder if Pinsker is going to make a move with Martinson. He's seen McCracken do it. If McCracken starts to get a move on, expect Pinsker to come through. That's the view from the 168 Ford. As yet, he's not going to be in a position to do it this time. Again, Canute had a good run through Blanchimont. He's going to keep Pinsker at bay. Plenty of time though. Not quite halfway yet. Oh, that's Sluman on Arjun Van Putten. Well, that's not commonplace for an overtake. Sluman wanted to make up ground. So they come out of curve Paul Frey. The Porsche is not wanting to hang around and gets on the inside of Blanchimont. Nice move, Marvin Sluman. That puts the Lion Racing Porsche up into 4th in class. He's got 5 seconds to close down to the next one in line, which is this, the 296 Ferrari of Martin Kodeman. There we go. Ooh, that's close. Oh, well held, Mr. Martinson. That woke him up. Yeah, Knut's fallen a little bit off the pace. I can't imagine that tap would have caused any damage. It certainly doesn't look it from the bodywork. But I thought that was going to happen with McCracken starting to build himself a little bit of a gap. I did think Pinsker was going to make the move. And if Knut's struggling with pace, he might let Dancy go. And he's got Isaac JN right there as well to capitalise on it. So it's going to be interesting to see what he does there. Oh, Dancy having a look. Oh, trouble Arjun Van Putten! Oh no, the 226 Team Tipper Ram. Oh, he just drops it. Ooh, get out of the way. Oh no. What a shame for Arjun Van Putten. That's up at Ravage that happened. Drops him down to 23rd. And right behind him, that's Ben Hitchcock and Jeremy Ralou. The 228 car. Sliding through on the inside, coming into P1 again. Hitchcock didn't really fight that one. Not in the same class, you can see by the coloured flash at the top of the windscreen, but also the coloured flash on the scoreboard and on the names on the elements of the bottom right hand corner. Red for Pro, green for Pro-Am, and blue for Am. They are allowed to fight people in different categories, but it's not generally recommended. They don't really gain, well, they don't at all gain anything from doing it. Still at 34 competitors remaining. Now we've seen some shuffling around. Is Woodford going to make a move? No, again. He's not interested in making that move, especially as he's got that breathing space back to Blaska Vals. Oh, hello! That is Pinsker and McCracken! Oh, what a move at the outside of the first part of Lecon from James Pinsker. Very nicely done, well driven by both of them. And Dancy has indeed got ahead of Martinson in exactly the same vein. Isaac JN looking to capitalise on as well. I'm pretty sure Phil said last week that the Ferrari is not so kind on its tyres, which will hurt at a place like this. So Isaac looking to make hay while the sun shines, the old phrase goes. What's happened to Misterowicz? Oh, he's had the same move pulled on him by Richard Brenneman. That's Dancy. He's already given himself half a second between himself and Martinson. So has Knut run out of tyres? Now they don't typically change tyres when they come in for their pit stops, but they can. And if Knut's struggling at this stage, he might consider it. Is either going to make a move on the AOR yellow Ferrari. Good exit from Paul Frey for both of them. Again into Blanchimont. There up ahead you can see McCracken and Pinsker. McCracken's not letting the Team Tepper Ford go, and JN not interested in getting side by side at that point. Remains where he is. Edens and Van Dorn right behind them. Looking to join that particular party. Oh, Isaac. Oh, never mind. Isaac JN in the pits. This is bang on the halfway stage. Or near as, damn it. 17 laps done. It's ever so slightly earlier than halfway, so I'd expect to see a big influx of people coming into the pits in the next few laps. And now Knut is going to try and hang on to the back of the AM leader. Kodeman's in. Imre's in. Yeah, that's not a surprise. When one jumps, a lot of them tend to follow. A bit like lemmings in that respect. This must be quite disheartening actually for Canoe, as Downsy, although has done brilliantly well, is 2 categories below where he is. You could argue that Downsy shouldn't be in the AMs. That's a fairly valid argument. Oh, Yardley's in. The grinning Porsche. There goes Imre. Now, with the pit stop coming, is Woodford going to try and make the move before or after? I suspect after, but we will see. He's been lurking in the rearview mirrors of Dominic Gadimer all race long, as we've repeatedly said. With the Blasco balls only a second behind, so he's hung on to the pace pretty well. Woodford with the fastest lap by quite a considerable way, and that was set very early on. At 2:12.3. He's going to do it here, but I doubt he's going to risk it. And indeed he doesn't. Will they come into the pits line astern? Neither of them did. And neither does Blasco Wolf. What about Pinsker and McCracken? The Ford doesn't, and neither does the Ferrari. Well, oh, what's happened here? Cohen Van Eyck. Oh, Cohen Van Eyck's had trouble as so. Oh no, Michael Eden's coming into the pits. What happened to Cohen Van Eyck? He's had trouble down at the Fagnes chicane, hasn't he? He's got in too deep. The rears have locked up on him, and over the grass he goes. 16 into the points now for the Porsche. He can't be doing that too many times, or he will be out. Oh, what's happened to Sanders? Nothing, he's come into the pits. Kleiber, still going. Kosterowicz is in for Hyperion. Well, Sanders as well. Yeah, lots of people coming in now. Jamie Smith. But some leaving it a little bit later. You see Blasco Balls doing what he can to actually keep up with the top 2. All of similar pace, but a little bit, a 10th here or there for both of them. I wonder if it's quite frustrating for Gadimer. He knows that Ford has been there all race long. He knows what the strategy is, and he knows he cannot shake that Ford at all. I wonder if that's kind of playing on his mind. Will they come in this time? 18 laps done, roughly 18 to go. Overlay 10 to me. Oh, was there trouble for Jeremy Ralou. Way too far off the road and a huge impact. He's come off at turn 9. And that is big trouble for the 228 N-Race Esports Porsche. Still no movement towards the pits for the top of the tree. Interesting. A big problem then for Jeremy Ralou. It was a huge impact. He's managed to make it back down to the bottom of the hill. It's going through Stavolo now. Edens and Van Eyck directly behind. Oh, Pfeffer's in. Pfeffer and Sluman have brought their cars in. Oh! Well, did say that the move was coming. I did wonder whether he was going to do it before or after the pit stop, and it was a slipstream maneuver for Ross Woodford. Up into the lead of the race. Jürgen Kleiber and Ben Hitchcock have brought their cars into the pits. And Jeremy Ralou has made it back. Cohen Van Eyck is in. Roughly half the field-ish have been through the pits now. Well, this will be an interesting gauge on whether there has been a significant pace difference between the Ford and the Porsche all race long, and whether Ross... Well, we know Ross has been biding his time, but to what degree is the big question. Cyril Bergeret is in as well. So the top 13, along with Isaac Van Putten and Sylvie Moraine, have yet to see the pit lane. I can't imagine that these guys are going to go on too much longer. And they're well into the second half of the race now as far as distance is concerned. Oh, trouble for Renault Luke. That looks like Blanchimont to me. No, that's Pouan, beg your pardon. Oops! Wow, that let go very quickly. Did they come in? No, they did not. Blaskevols, McCracken. Oh, sorry, Pinsker did, McCracken didn't. Along with Dancy, Martinson, Van Dorn, they've all come in. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Gaidemer, is he going to counter-attack Woodford? Over Radion onto the Kemmel Straight, then the slipstream is all in the hands of the Porsche. Okay, well, that camera angle, he went into the Ford. But no, well, there was clearly no impact there, and Woodford knew that one was done, backed out of it. The Porsche returns to the racing line and back up into the lead. Interesting. So Blaskevols, Dansky, Pinsker, Martinsen, Van Dorn, Riethmuller, Godefroy, Matthias, Brenneman all in. Oh, and that's Renault Luke as well. And Van Putten all in. So now it's only 4 cars yet to see the pit lane, which is Gaidemer, Woodford, McCracken and Moraine. Scott McCracken 11.3 seconds behind this battle. There he is, very much on his own. Now that the pit stops are being done, there's not going to be so much of the slipstreaming thing going on. Anyone very dangerously close. Oh, Christopher Pfeffer is on 18 incident points. Very dangerous. Oh, Martinson was side by side with Dancy, and that's JN and Van Dorn having a fight coming into Les Combes. That's Moraine getting underway. It's just the top 3 now to come to the pit lane. I'm pretty sure Pinsker still has to serve his drive-through unless that's been changed from when I received my notes pre-race. Oh, that's close. Now, are the top 2 going to come in? Dominic does, and so does Ross. I fully expect Scott to follow suit. He does. They probably didn't have enough fuel to go much further. Oh, trouble for Dempsey! Oh, the AM leader! And there again! That's the fact of chicane. Oh, wow, Martinson, you were close. How quickly can he recover? He's got to be very careful. Very wisely chooses to back out of that, but you can see how much time has that cost him. He's now down to 12th. And amazingly, still in the AM lead by, I'm just going to try and, about 28 seconds or so. Oh, Woodford has jumped Dominic, I think. He did! The Ford has come out ahead of the Porsche. That's exactly what Woodford has been doing all the slipstreaming for. There in the background is Blaskevols. He's not really gained anything. But, of course, that gives the slipstream straight to the Porsche, and Brenneman's in trouble. Richard Brenneman has had a spin, very much on his own by the look of it. What's he done? And there it goes, just let's go. Once again, it's the Wagner chicane. And the top 2 remain where they are, but I bet you they're going to get a hell of a lot more punchy now. We still have just under 32 minutes of racing to go. But this whole staying in people's slipstream business is not going to stay too much longer. Wow, Martinson really defending hard against the AN. Excuse me. That's for 6th overall. top 9 all in the pro category, as you can see. Alexander Godefroy is now our Pro-Am leader after all the stops are done. There was Riethmuller. I'm sure VEC don't mind. Which way around there, guys, up? As Dante now down into 12th after his spin. Who was on 18? I said who was on 18 incidents. And I've already forgotten who it was. It was Pfeffer. In 14th position. Through Blanchimont then for our lead 2. 1.7 separates themselves in 3rd place, Blaskovals. Nothing changing as yet. Gayen and Martinson battle on for 6th position with Rick Van Dorn right in the mixture as well. Great ringside seat for the team Tepper Ford. Ferrari leads, Porsche leads Ford in this particular three-way scrap for 6th, and Martinson defending hard. That inside line coming into the chicanes. The Porsche going to try and string around the outside. No, Martinson's got that one covered. And a wider line for Van Dorn. Couldn't quite see how the Porsche was trying to manage that. Let's have a look at our top 2 as they come back up the hill onto the Camel Straight once again. Will Gademan make the move, or is he now going to sit in the slipstream? Too far back to do it this time. I think Gatorman might sit there for a while. Oh, now. Oh, wow! Look at that. That's Rick Van Dorn on Isaac JM. What's happened there? He was right with Canoes. He just got a really bad exit from... he got a bad exit from the chicane. And then the Ford has been able to overcome him. And that's what's happened there. It's given Canute a little bit of breathing space, which I'm sure he will welcome. Oh, Pfeffer is on 19. One off track, and there he went. Oh no, he lagged, beg your pardon. I thought I'd commentator cursed him. Ironically, the person with the most incident points is being chased by the one with the least incident points, I think. Oh no, we've got 2 people now still on 0, which is this man Martin Codeman and Michael Edens. Which for Spa is an amazing achievement after nearly an hour's worth of racing. Ford still leads Porsche up front. Blaskovals for Williams Jim still in hot pursuit. Pinsker is very much on his own. Gained a couple of tenths on Blaskovals last time around. McCracken, he's quite a bit off the back of Pinsker as well. There's Martinson, there's Van Dorn, and there's JN, and there's Edens getting interested in that pack right ahead of him as well. Look at that lot. Oh, there be fights a brewing in the latter half of this race, as tends to happen here at Spa, certainly for the GTEs. What about this time? Oh, whoa! Woodford trying to break the toe. Woodford not comfortable that Gatorman wasn't going to make the move. That's a statement of intent as well. I will defend against you. Well. Ross Woodford not prepared to just let that leave that lead be attacked by Gatorman. And Donna Martinson still pretty close together. Isaac Gayen right behind. Porsche lost a second actually on Rick Van Dorn last time around. So but then we did see Isaac make that mistake at Chicane last time around. Actually, that's Scott McCracken. Has Scott had trouble? He's suddenly lost a whole chunk of time. Doesn't look like there's any damage on the car. Has Scott McCracken made a mistake? Well, no. Looking at the times, I don't think he has. I think he's very slow. Very, very slow. Oh dear, oh dear. Big problem for Scott McCracken. This is going to be interesting. Is he going to defend against this big old pack? If he's got a problem. At the moment, he doesn't have to. Canoe not close enough to make a move. He's gaining. Obviously, we've seen that Scott's lost pace. Oh, wow, and that's Vic Van Dorn having a look to get on the blimp. We'll see all four of these guys, and that one on the back. Here's Michael Edens. Actually, we can't use that one because it's not going to be much use. I don't think the blimp's going to be able to see too far. Oh, wow, the impact between McCracken and Canute. Have a look at that one again. Yeah. That was Scott braking earlier than Canoe was expecting. And the AOR yellow Ferrari plows into the back of McCracken. I think Canoe is letting Scott back. He's got back underway, but he's backed off, he's pulled over. Canoe doing the right thing and allowing Scott McCracken back up into position. But oh, look at the damage. That's not been caused by the impact with Canoe. Not unless Scott hit the wall, which I'm pretty sure he didn't. So that's why. Let's have a look at that incident again. Oh, as my computer has a small fit. No, maybe he did hit the wall. And there's the impact. And donk. No, unfortunately he did it of his own accord. As he's trying to recover, he's then clocked onto the wall. Oh dear. Canute's still behind him. And there is Pro-Am leader Alexander Godefroy. Also interestingly, Woodford's got himself a second nearly over Gadimer. Ross now, he's probably been able to keep his tyres a little bit fresher as he hasn't, as he's been in the slipstream of the Porsche pretty much all race long. We'll see. Well, just under 24 minutes to go. There's Pfeffer. He's still on 19. He's doing well to hang on in there. And Edens and Kodeman still on 0. Oh, Yayan and Van Dorn battle for 5th. As McCracken is in the pits. Oh, what a shame for Scott McCracken. He'll be in there a while. He may well opt to retire his car. A great shame for Scott McCracken. Oh, Isaac catching a huge amount of apex there in the middle of Radion. In the middle of Eau Rouge, ready. He's not making the move. He's backed out of that one. Oh, Godefroy side by side with Martinsen. I wouldn't be surprised if Canute picked up a little bit of damage as a result of the impact. It wasn't a particularly heavy impact, not on his side. But he has been struggling in the latter parts of this race. So his struggles have just gotten a little worse, I think. We will see. Keeping a very close eye on this battle. This is 4th, 5th, as mentioned. Wow, the top two have really broken away as well from Blasco Vals. Now nearly 2.8, well, now he is 2.8 seconds between the two Porsches. There you saw the yellow Porsche in the background. But Gadimer is very slowly edging back up on the Ford. So the battle of the lead is not done. No, sir, not by half. Oh, Jake Sanders and Evan Imre. Talked about these two before. That's not Renault Luke already behind. That Is that Gaillard? Yep, that's Philippe Gaillard, who is 6 laps down. Oh, look at that. The Porsche having a crack at the BMW. Sanders can't quite get it done, but Sanders has got to be careful. He's on 16 incident points. Evans on 10. Porsche's got damage on the front of it, so that's going to be tricky to steer. And Gadamer's gone right back under the rear wing of the Ford again. Through Rouge over Radion onto the Camel Straight once again. Now Woodford's trying to break this toe again. Here comes the Porsche. Is he going to make the move? Jumps to the outside, but no, can't get it done. But Woodford's entrance into Lake Comet's compromised. But no, Gadamer cannot get the move done. But they lock horns once again. The Radicals Ford versus the Comrade Porsche. Not for the first time these two have crossed swords. They've crossed swords many times over. Ross has won twice so far this season. Gadamer just the once. They are separated only by 10 points in Ross's favour. So this has got some legs on it yet. They're going to be doing this dance until the checker flag falls, I would think. Alan Martins is in. Okay, I did not expect him to come in. I'm fairly sure Panama Martins has already served his drive-through penalty that he started the race with, and he's actually come to stop. Oh dear, he's on 19 incident points as well, so maybe he's had a problem. That could be the end of him, unfortunately. Oh, that's something I didn't notice. Jamie Smith has been in the pits for a while. That's terrible camera angles. Oh dear, there's a big bit missing from Jamie Smith's car. He's had a problem. Never mind that, though. I say never mind that. I don't mean to sound disingenuous, but there's lots of fighting going on. That's the only reason I say that. Such as this one, battle for the lead. An extra bit of encouragement from his fellow Comrade Gaming Porsche of Mr. Holstein in chat. It's a shame to see you out of the race, good sir. I can't imagine Gadamer is going to be able to get close enough to make the move. Gadamer's on 13 incident points, Ross on 6th, so Ross has got a fair bit in hand as far as that's concerned. And they remain where they are for now. Still several other battles going on. Rick Van Dorn and Isaac Gayen still having their fight for 5th. Although the Porsche a little bit too far back. So there's 2 Porsche Ford battles going on. Edens is 3 seconds further down the road. Riethmuller and Godefroy for the Pro-Am lead. There's Martinson behind them. He's lost a huge amount of pace since the beginning part of the race. It was a great shame for Canute. Sanders and Imre, they've been fighting for a long time. Right behind them is, as mentioned, Philippe Gaillard, who's rather just minding his own business. Scott McCracken has left the session. He has retired the car. He will not return. I suspect Paolo Martins is not going to return to track either. Jamie Smith has been in the pits a while, so that takes us down to 31 cars remaining from our 42 starters. That's the nature of the beast, though. Spa being a particularly unforgiving place. That's Ben Hitchcock and Arjun Van Putten. Not in the same class, not realistically in a fight with one another. They are, though. Chris Yardley in the grinning Porsche. Both cars equally rearranged. And Yardley made that fairly straightforward, his move on Jürgen Kleiber for 26th. And well, certainly Yardley's been carrying that damage for the vast majority of the race. Arm beginning to fall off the back, off the Ford. That's nearly a second that separates the two now. There's still time to do something about it. Another 8 laps if the count is correct. Bear in mind this is a timed race, not a lap count. So the lap count, or the expected lap count, could and regularly does come down. Oh, Evan Imre and Jake Sanders swapping around. That's coming to Blanchimont. The BMW hanging on to the inside line. The Porsche trying to do something on the outside. Evan defends it very nicely. Jake now switches to the outside, coming towards the chicane. Can he hang it around the outside? Not quite well defended from Imre. That is allowing Renault Luke to gain on them. There he is, the Hyperion Porsche. There was a rogue Ferrari in the way. A great scrap this is for 16th overall. Let's just figure out where that is in the Pro-Am. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is a battle for 6th, I think, if I've counted correctly. Yeah, that's a battle for 6th position in the Pro-Ams. Also bear in mind that because Gaillard is a lap down, if Renault Luke is able to gain on them, he'll have to get out of the way. He must obey the blue flags. And is Sanders able to do anything? The BMW doesn't look like it this time. No damage on the front of the Porsche, not helping him. On the Kemmel straight this time. And it's now over a second that separates Gaydemeyer from Woodford. Ross now getting the hammer down. He was 4 tenths quicker than Gaydemeyer last time around. Gaydemeyer has got to be careful. He's now on 14 incident points. That's still 15 minutes or just under until the checker flag falls. 13-2. Actually, both of them on a 13-2 on the last lap, so very little change between them. That's battle for 5th still rages on. There are 2 cars in between the 2 battles we keep looking at. That one is one of them, Blaskavors. He's on 14 instant points as well, but he now finds himself 3.8 seconds behind the lead 2, who was right there for such a long time, so he could well be just backing off a little bit to try and bring the car home. And Pinsker is in there as well, but he's very much on his own. 8 seconds behind Blaskavors and 9.5 seconds ahead of his teammate, who has got Isaac Gayen for company. And Godfrey still fight for the Pro-Am lead. Again, they may not fight each other too hard. They might have a crack at one another towards the end. Oh, there's a movement going on. Jeremy Ralou and Karen Van Eyck have swapped round. The Lion Racing Porsche moving ahead of the NRAC Sport Porsche. Craig Dancy still around leader. Bear in mind he's Span. And still leads the way in the M class. And it was by a considerable distance. And it remains to be a considerable distance as well. It's about 40 seconds. 30 to 40 seconds is what separates Craig Dancy to second place Ben Hitchcock. The Pro-Ams, as mentioned, is being led by these 2. I've got to throw in Riethmuller. Canoe Martinson now 3 seconds behind this fight and is losing about a second a lap. So either he's got damage from that shunt with McCracken, or his tyres are completely mullered. The next Pro-Am down the road is Marvin Sluman, who was leading the class for a fair bit of the first half of the race. He's behind by about 12 seconds. Remains in the Pro-Am podium spot. Next one down the road is Martin Kodeman, who is about a further 10 seconds back. So the Ford of Ross Woodford is just getting faster and faster. 1.4 separates those 2 now. 13-0 for Ross last time around, and a 13-1 for Gaydemeyer. So the Ford has had enough at staring at the back of the Porsche, but we've seen how quickly one mistake can just completely unravel all their hard work and how costly that one mistake can be. So the Com Radicals Ford can't afford to sit on his laurels. Can he bring it home for the third win of the season and the second on the bounce? He certainly can, but let's see if he will be the first man to take the checkered flag at this time around. Griezmann and Godefroy still pretty close together. Griezmann was about 3/10 faster last time around than his VEC brethren. Not strictly speaking teammates, they're of different divisions within VEC. One cyan, one magenta, rouge, beg your pardon. In the background is Canute, who I imagine he's just minding his own business now. He's got some time. Christopher Pfeffer is the next one down the road, who's been hovering on 19 incident points for absolutely ages now, has been lagging very, very badly as well, and is about 17 seconds down the road. So Canute's got nothing immediately to worry about, as we are fast approaching just 5 laps to go here at Spa. 10.5 minutes on the board. Lap times for the top guys, 13.3, 13.9 for Gaydemeyer. And there back is Blaskovals, 13.7 for him. So Woodford, all that time he spent just, keeping everything fresh, burning as little fuel as he could, keeping his tyres as good as he could in the slipstream of the Porsche, is really paying off now. And Pfeffer has gone. He'd been hanging around on the incident limit for quite some time, and that'll be where he's done it. Yep. Too wide. Coming through Curve Paul Frey, and Christopher Pfeffer has gone. Got to find Reith Miller, still very, very close. That's given Canute even more breathing space. The next pro down the road from where he is, in 10th position, is Sylvian Moraine, and he is, oh crikey, 33 seconds down the road. Amazing, there's only 2 people that have fallen foul of the incident limit. There's a lot of people that could fall foul in the remaining 5 or so laps. But only 2 so far. So with Pfeffer gone, that gives us how many people left? 27, 8, 9, 30 cars left. 2 seconds now separates Woodford to Gaydemeyer. All is not lost. The Ford could still make a mistake. But at this rate, I think Ross has done enough to just give himself as much of an advantage as he needs to bring home the checker flag. But we will see. Anything could still happen in the remaining 8.5 minutes. And I'm sure Gaydemeyer is hoping that it does. Next one that is, there's a couple of people on 18 incident points. Rano Luke is one of them. He's right in the middle of the pack with that's Jake Sanders and Evan Imre directly ahead of him. Jake and Evan have been involved in their scrap for a long, long time. Rano Luke was quicker than both of them last time. So he's going to have to be very, very careful how he comes past them. Cohen Van Eyck on 19. Oh, that's Jeremy Rouleau right behind him. Not in the same class. It would be worthwhile for Cohen just to let him go. So very close, and Jeremy's going to go to the inside at Pouon. That's only going to really slow him down. Oh, I could see that coming. Cohen's out. I saw that one coming. Rouleau, he's now on 19 incident points as a result of that tap, and now finds himself in the middle of the road. Oh, that was a little bit too desperate, I feel, from Jeremy. It really wasn't needed. And that is now Cohen Van Eyck out of the race. And there goes Chris Yardley. Oh dear. Well then, 7 minutes to go. Ross Woodford leads for Com Radicals from Dominic Gaydemeyer. Blaskovals pretty much gone into bring it home mode now, as he is now nearly 7 seconds off the back of Gaydemeyer. In 3rd position, Pinsker 4, Rick Van Dorn still has Isaac AM for company, but nearly a second between those two now. Here's your top 6 in the pros. Michael Eden in 7th. He's a little bit on his own. And the Pro-Am still, as it has been for quite some time, led by Godefroy and Riethmüller for VEC. 3rd is Marvin Sluman. Led the Pro-Ams for a long time. And one mistake sent him spiralling down to where we now find him. The AMs led by the incredible Craig Dancy. Oh, Isaac JN has had a spin. What has happened to the Privateer 112 Porsche? So he's had a problem down at Stavola. There it is. Oh, no, didn't keep it out of the wall. Oh dear, oh dear. I did say that's how quickly it can change. Pinsker is... Oh, Pinsker's serving his drive-through penalty. I thought he had it still to do. Oh, that's a very battered BMW in the back. So, Rick Van Dorn goes through. Where's Pinsker going to reappear? Is he going to beat Michael Edens? He ought to. Oh, it's going to be close. That's going to be really close. Oh, the Ferrari's got the momentum. Is he going to try and make the pass down at the bottom of the hill? No, he doesn't. He's going to want to try and do that into Lake Holm. Here comes Michael Edens. Is he going to be able to get the slipstream done before they get to Lake Holm? Pinsker staying very hard to the inside line. Forces the Ferrari to go the long way round. And no, doesn't complete the move, but someone that's just had trouble is Evan Imre. What has happened to the AOR yellow BMW? Way too deep into the chicane. He recovered pretty quick, in fairness. But that has lost in time. Rano Luke and Jake Sanders now having that scrap. That is very close between the two Porsches. Oh, Rano Luke. That could have spelled the end of his race. Well, actually could have spelled the end of both of their races, because Rano's on 18, Jake on 17 incident points. Oh, that could go horribly wrong yet. Jake backed out of that. Didn't want to be that close, considering how pretty close to the incident limit he is. Edens has fallen a little bit off the back of Pinsker. In fairness, that only actually lost Pinsker one spot to his teammate. Cost him a fair amount of time. I did think, I was wondering whether he'd either forgotten he needed to serve it or whether something had changed, which meant he wasn't going to serve it, but he did. Which is good to see. Here we have a look at the two VEC Ferraris have spread out a little bit. Dancy and Canute now pretty close together. Canute has been struggling. I think it's fair to say that the AM leader is going to come past pretty soon. That's the lead now for Ross Woodford. That must be so disheartening for Dominic Adamat. He really has done nothing wrong. But it's just been a brilliant tactical masterclass from the Com Radicals 178 Ford. Just 3 more laps to bring that one home. Just under 3 minutes. I think the checkered flag is going to fall before 3 laps are done, but we will see. We will see. Who shall we have a look at? Who is in a decent bundle we haven't looked at in a while? Well, that's Canute on the back of Isaac JN. So Canute's going to gain that one. And that rearranged Porsche is going to struggle. Oh, no, Isaac is still fighting. Canute's on 15 incident points. It's rare to see Canute that high up the incident count. Famed for staying at the bottom of the incident count is Mr. Martinson. 2 minutes remain. Ross Woodford will complete lap 34. We'll be ending at the end of lap 35, I would think. pressing on. He holds the fastest lap, does Woodford. He's not going to be challenging that, as you can see, 2:12, 3:87. Who's that ahead of them? Bergeret? Yeah. Damaged Ferrari of the Gold Team Racing 387 car. We're going to have some company very, very quickly. Well, that's Isaac J. Canoe Martinson and Craig Dancy. Canoe's got to be careful. He's on 16 incident points now. He could easily fall prey to being tapped. Or overshooting his braking point, what have you. Craig would be better off not getting involved in the fight ahead of him. Martin Codeman has got 1 on the incident board, so only Michael Edens has 0. There is Mr. Woodford. There he is with Cyril Bergeret already ahead of him. And Cyril doing the right thing, getting very much out of the way, coming through turn 9. Does not want to influence the lead of the race whatsoever. Well played, sir. Through P1. Oh, JN and Woodford, Martinson rather, a swap round. Dancy looking to get involved in that fight coming into Lake Arm. He's eager. He's Craig Dancy. The checkered flag is out. Oh, there's trouble. Merlin Cooper's round and Evan Imray, 2 complete separate incidents. Oh, Evan had a complete spin on his own. Whoa, that was close from that Porsche. That was, I'm not sure who that was. And the other one was, I've completely lost track of who the other one was. Well, still incidents going on behind them, but right now the day belongs to this man. Your winner here at Spa is the 178 Comrade Ford of Ross Woodford. Brilliantly driven. Second goes to Dominic Gaidemer for Comrade Gaming. Decent effort for Williams Jim for Jorge Blasco-Vols. Greg Van Dorn inheriting 4th position from his teammate for Team Tepper. Good effort again from the Luminous Green Fords. Greg Van Dorn 4, James Pinsker 5. And Michael Edens holding on to that 0 incident points. That's bonus points actually in the championship for doing that. So fair play to him. He's the only driver remaining that has managed to do so. The Pro-Am winner is Alexander Godefroy from Sebastian Riethmiller. There is Canoe. He's managed to stay ahead of Isaac J.N. to bring home 9th. Craig Dancy is by a very long way the AM winner. 3rd in the Pro-Ams goes to Marvin Sleeman. Next in line in the AM category is Ben Hitchcock. Still, that just goes to show how far ahead Craig Dancy was. There's Evan Imray after his last spin. Down to 17th position. A great shame. What's been a very difficult race for the 222 BMW. Well, that's likely to shake up the championship. Maybe not for the pros, but certainly will shake up the championship for the other 2 classes. There's Nesterovic. Brenneman of the AMS just coming through the chicane. A few cars still to come over the line. He looks quite happy with that, does Richard Brenneman. There's Kleiber and Yardley. No, Jeremy Rolou has actually been disqualified. He hit the incident limit on the final lap. That's not an ideal way to end the race, but sadly that is what's happened. Yardley comes across the line, and Merlin Cooper, very battered, is the last car on track. Well, Gaillard's still going. he's still timed up. No, he's done. Well, So the race results then, before any kind of steward intervention, Ross Woodford taking the win in grand style from Gaydemer. Then it is Jorge Vors, then Van Dorn, Pinsker, Edens, Godefroy and Riethmiller taking the top 2 in the Pro-Ams. Martinson, Yayen, Dancy taking the Am win. Sluman, Kodeman, Matthias, Luke, Sanders, Moraine, Imre, Hitchcock, Van Putten, Nesterowicz, Brenneman, Kleiber, Yardley, Cooper, Relu, Bergeret, Lindholtz. And a lot of these people didn't see the flag. Van Eyck, Pfeffer, Gaillard. Gaillard did see the flag, but everybody else didn't in this pack. Martin, Smith, McCracken, Henstra, Christensen, Withrow, Carvalho, McNinch, Holstein, Suominen, and Hallowell. There's a bit of synchronised driving going on there by our VEC guys. I think someone already ahead of them as well. Oh yeah, it's the VEC guys. Nicely done. Excellent race. That was absolutely amazing. Far less people fell foul to the incident limit than I thought they would. That is the nature of the beast. Right, let's see if anybody wants to have a chat to me, shall we? I'm not even in the commentary box because I've been flying solo this evening. Right, let's put myself in there. It's not necessary for the drivers to come and have a chat to me post-race, but it is nice to have a chat, see how they feel, see how, get their insight into everything, etc., etc. I should have put that one up. So all of our graphic stuff done by Nick Domino. So it was not with us this evening. Great, thank you to him. Thank you very much to our drivers for putting on an excellent show. It's always a great pleasure to get such a great race out of them. And Spa is just such a magical place to have a race. Didn't mean for that to rhyme, but there we go. Let's get the music on. See if anybody wants to come and have a chat. Sorry, I never catch that quick enough to turn that down. We'll give our drivers another few minutes to see if they want to have a chat to me. As I say, it isn't obligatory, they don't have to, but it is nice to have a chat to them. Oh, Marvin Sluman has come up to say hello, so let's have a chat with Marvin. Hello, Marvin.
Hello.
Well, how were things from your side?
It was going great until lap 11, I believe. I had a great qualifying and the race was going really great. But then I don't know why I wanted to overtake Martinsen so badly, but I lost it under braking when I tried to overtake him.
And that plonked you right at Lacon for a long time, didn't it?
Yeah, it was facing the wrong way, so yeah, had to wait like 20 seconds before I could rejoin.
Not good, because you were leading fairly comfortably as well. Were you thinking that was going to be the case, or were you just taking everything as it came?
I never expected it, but in hindsight, I should have just stayed behind Visi and just drive in P1 for the rest of the race. Yeah,
it must be
quite too much.
It must be quite tempting though when you're in that position, when you're potentially quicker than those of a different class to you. Is it quite tempting to try and make the pass?
Yeah, definitely. I just wanted it so bad just to prove that I could overtake him, and that it wasn't just lucky.
Wasn't just a fluke. So will we see you at the top of the tree next race?
That would be great, but I have no idea. I like Spa, and that's why I think I did pretty good today. And I've never driven what's the track?
Phillip Island.
Yeah, exactly. Never driven that.
Well, Phillip Island we did as the wildcard last season in the dark, so that was quite crazy.
Yeah, sadly I had to miss that one. So I have to buy the track and then have to try it out.
Well, we look forward to seeing you there. Good luck for the remainder of the season.
Thanks. See you next week.
See you then. Right, we have a few people wanted to have a chat to us now, so let us see. Who should we grab? Let's grab Mr. Pinsker. Hello, James.
Hello, Chris.
Well, were it not for that pesky drive-through?
I guess. I don't know. I mean, it came from last race. The crash was my fault. I completely deserved the penalty. But I mean, I only lost 2 points from actually serving it, and I mean, I lost them to my teammate. So overall, I can be very happy. And to be honest, I'm very surprised because I mean, this track always has like the massive slipstream trains. So I thought the field would be really congested towards the end, but I don't know. I pushed I was like every single lap pushing to make sure I could get the biggest gap possible, and in the end, just hold on to P5. So I'm happy.
Again, I always ask this of our drivers, where did you see yourself finishing? It's a bit of a broken record question, but I'm going to stick with it. Were you, again, you've regularly been within that top 5 group. Again, was that where you were thinking you were going to be for Spa?
Not really. I mean, the thing is, it's very strange because in the top of this league, there's a lot of people like, say, Ross, Chris, Dominic, all good examples they're a lot quicker than me, and essentially it's almost like a pro 0.5 almost that I just managed to stay consistent in my races, and I think I managed to get the best results possible. So no, I wasn't really expecting P5 drive-through or not, but with a couple of crashes, bit of luck, stuff kind of fell into my hands, and to be honest, I think I drove a really good race pace in the second stint, a lot better than I was expecting. So yeah, I mean, I'll definitely take the 10 points, and I'm very happy for Rick as well, my teammate, getting 12. Yeah, smiles all round. I'll take it.
A good haul for the bright green Tepper boys. Excellent. Well, good luck for Phillip Island, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week.
Okay, thanks, Chris.
Let's grab Mr. Van Dorn himself. Hello, Rick.
Hi, Chris.
Well, a decent haul for the Tepper boys. I mean, you had a lot more fighting to do than James earlier on. Talk us through it.
Yeah, it was. I mean, you probably saw the mess that happened at the start. It wasn't very pretty. I got some rear end damage from that, which in some weird way wasn't optional in the pit stop, but it gave me a heck of a lot of understeer. So the first stint was just like a lot of pain on the front tires, just trying to not slide off the track, making moves where I can, just trying to keep the pace up. And then toward the end of the race, after the pit stop, the grip just kind of came back to me a little bit, and I started to pick up the pace, managed to keep people behind after the pit stop, and I knew James had a drive-through penalty, so I just knew I had to keep the gap to him as small as possible. Which worked, so yeah, really happy to get away with P4 here.
Are you looking forward to Phillip Island in the same way?
I honestly have no clue where Phillip Island even goes. I don't even know where it is.
It's over there.
Okay, cool. Yeah, thanks.
It's an Australian track, I think, or a New Zealand track. It's one of the two. It was the wild card in the dark round from last season, which won't help you in the slightest. It was all kind of crazy from our perspective in the commentary box.
I mean, yeah, I can imagine. I didn't see too much from what went on around me. I just had to focus on the people right in front and right behind me, just to make up positions. But the craziest thing happened for me was Fizzy and Skull in front of me. I was really lucky to avoid that. And yeah, I mean, I honestly have no idea what went on around me. I just raced my own race.
Fair play. Well, good luck for Phillip Island, and good luck for the remainder of the season.
Thank you very much.
And finally, it is our Pro Race winner. It's Mr. Woodford. Hello, Ross.
Hello.
Once again, absolutely excellent effort. Was that always the plan, just to stay in the slipstream, save the tyres, and blitz it at the end?
Yeah, I think with these races, one of the most key things you have to do is save fuel. So I spent the entire first stint before the stop just sizing him up and saving fuel, and I was pretty sure I could jump him on the stop, and did, and then didn't really look back from there. So
it was fuel as opposed to tyres then? Was tyre wear ever an issue, or was that ever something you thought you had to manage?
No, of the four GTs, the Ford is by far the best of the tyres. So as the race went on, I knew I'd have the advantage there over Dom. So it's just about getting out of slipstream and saving enough fuel in the first stint so I could get a gap.
Is that going to be a thing for next week as well? Because Phillip Island is a very twisty track.
It's a thing. The fuel saving is a thing at all tracks, and then the tyres is probably going to be another Ford thing again because it's a lot of high-speed corners like Road Atlanta was. So I'd expect a lot of Fords at the front again.
Looking forward to it?
Definitely, obviously because I'm driving a Ford, but I like the track. So
awesome. Well, again, another excellent win. 3 out of 5 for you, sir. 2 on the bounce. Are you thinking of the title at the end, or is it too early to think about that?
Probably a bit too early to think about that, but you never know. Season's going well so far, so let's see how it goes.
Best of luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
And that is going to be it for this evening. Thank you very much to those that have been with us throughout the stream. A great pleasure to have you along for the ride. Thank you very much to our sponsors. Without you guys, AOR would not continue to grow. And as mentioned, we will be back next week for Phillip Island, a very different, very twisty track that saw a lot of chaos and anarchy, mainly because it was dark last time out, but also the wildcard round, which didn't help. It didn't help some of the drivers. It was great for us commentators. We hope you'll enjoy it as well. We hope you'll join us then, but there's plenty of racing going on in between then and now, so check back with us for that as well. Thank you very much, and good night!